Johnny Carson hosted thousands of guests during his legendary run on The Tonight Show. But some of the most unforgettable moments came from visitors, who appeared to be operating on a wavelength slightly higher than everyone else in the studio. Whether it was the wild spirit of the 1970s, the unpredictable creativity of certain performers, or simply the personalities they carried everywhere, these guests made Carson's job both more challenging and infinitely more entertaining. The atmosphere of late-night television in those decades made room for all kinds of characters, and a few arrived looking and sounding as if they were floating just above the conversation. Among them were 7 iconic figures whose elevated energy, literal or otherwise, left a mark on the show's history: Cheech Marin and Tommy Chong. Known worldwide as Cheech and Chong, were practically ambassadors of stoner culture. When they appeared on Carson's stage, nobody expected them to be polished, focused, or even on the same page as each other. Their slow-paced banter, offbeat giggles, and meandering stories felt like sketches unfolding in real time. Carson loved letting them go because he knew the audience adored their mellow chaos. Every time they sat down, the show seemed to drift into a comedic fog, and Johnny's straight-man reactions only made their presence funnier. Robin Williams brought a completely different kind of high-energy presence, one that seemed to defy the laws of physics. In his early appearances, he was a whirlwind of characters, voices, and rapid-fire improvisation. Some people joked that Robin Williams didn't need substances to seem out of this world. He simply existed on a different frequency. Carson often just leaned back and let him take over, watching with a mix of awe and amusement as Williams launched into comedic flights that left everyone breathless. Even if he hinted at the experimental habits of the 70s, the real fuel behind his mania was his unmatched comedic genius. Hunter S. Thompson, the man behind gonzo journalism, was almost destined to make this list. He famously lived a lifestyle so intense that Carson reportedly had no idea what version of Thompson might show up. When Hunter sat down, he spoke in unpredictable bursts, rants about politics, surreal anecdotes, half-formed philosophizing. Carson, normally in total control, had to guide the interview as gently as someone walking a tightrope. Thompson's presence on the show was like inviting a thunderstorm into the studio: chaotic, mesmerizing, and impossible to forget. George Carlin also arrived on The Tonight Show during a transformative moment in his career. Known for his cerebral, yet rebellious comedic style, Carlin often brought the relaxed, free-flowing spirit of the counterculture movement with him. His laid-back energy, combined with his ability to dissect society with razor-sharp wit, made his appearances a rare blend of calm and intensity. Carson respected Carlin deeply and gave him more leeway than most comedians, which allowed Carlin's slightly floaty, philosophical vibe to shine through. Jack Nicholson didn't have to act high to seem high. By the 1970s and 80s, Nicholson had already cultivated a nearly mythical coolness: the sunglasses, the grin, the effortless charm that suggested he always knew something the rest of the room didn't. Whenever Nicholson joined Carson, the conversation felt loose, playful, and slightly mysterious. His laid-back demeanor and sly humor gave the impression of a man permanently reclining on a cloud. And Carson played off his chill energy beautifully. Steve Martin, at the height of his wild and crazy guy era, brought a different flavor of high, one fueled by absurdity and surreal humor. He made unpredictability an art form. Whether he wore a fake arrow through his head or abruptly shifted into bizarre one-liners, Martin's comedy felt like watching someone joyfully break every rule of reality. Carson served as the perfect anchor to Martin's delightful weirdness. And though Martin wasn't necessarily under the influence, his comedic style made him seem lifted by pure imagination. David Bowie rounded out this group with his unmistakably ethereal presence. During his early TV appearances, especially in the 70s and early 80s, Bowie carried an aura that felt both otherworldly and dreamlike. Soft-spoken yet magnetic, stylish yet mysterious, He seemed like a visitor from a different dimension. Carson treated him with genuine curiosity, and Bowie's calm, drifting energy added a surreal elegance to the interviews. Simply sitting in the chair, he radiated a coolness that made audiences lean in. These 7 guests, Cheech and Chong, Robin Williams, Hunter S. Thompson, George Carlin, Jack Nicholson, Steve Martin, and David Bowie each brought a unique kind of high energy to Johnny Carson's show. Whether it was creativity, comedy, coolness, or actual chemistry doing the lifting. Their appearances helped create some of the most memorable and delightfully unpredictable moments in late-night history.